6, we're hitting chest and back. It's the final day of stage 3. Probably one of our favorite pairings is chest and back. You just get that awesome pump, feels good, and this is gonna be a pretty quick workout because the volume is decreasing slightly. Instead of 4 sets, we're doing 3 sets each exercise, but of course we're sticking with the supersets. And that is what makes this workout tough, but it's a great way to end the week. Let's get started. We're beginning with prone rows. This is a relatively new exercise for us. We learned it while being on the show Hitting the Wall, where we trained alongside Olympians, and the ski cross champion said this was one that he used very often in his regimen. And it's always exciting to find a new exercise because it can kind of breathe new life into going into the gym. This one really targets the back, and that's why it quickly became one of our favorites. As you can see, we're stacking quite a few plates underneath a bench in order to get the distance you need to pull the bar. If you don't have that available, thankfully, there's another variation you can do with an incline bench, and that's a great thing about a lot of exercises. You can make little alternate versions of them to still target the same general area and still to get a great exercise in. So once we're finished with the prone rows, we're moving directly onto the floor press. This is basically the precursor to the bench press. There's not as much range of motion, but it's really great to help you with that upper portion of the lift. And again, it's a nice way to breathe life into an exercise you may have been doing for quite a while. So that's the first superset. They're really enjoyable and they're hard, but damn, they feel good. So next up, we have 2 exercises that we're supersetting together. Both are gonna be unilateral, meaning that we're gonna be utilizing one side at a time before moving on to the next side. First one is going to be the single arm bent over dumbbell row, and the next exercise is going to be the single arm incline press. Now with the bent over dumbbell row, really trying to focus on the lats. Of course, with the rowing motion, you're working a little bit in the rear delt, the bicep is a secondary muscle group. But as you can see, we're stabilizing ourselves on the bench. You can use a bench or you can use your leg, whatever feels best for you, but you really want to try to get that elbow as high as you can and keep that chest up at the top position to really get that nice contraction in the lats before lowering it down into the stretch position. Now, with the incline dumbbell press, it's really trying to focus on the clavicular portion of the chest, the upper portion. Due to the angling, the position of the press, you're pushing upwards and slightly inwards, and that way that clavicle portion of the pectoralis major is gonna be pulling that shoulder joint up and to center line there. So you're really gonna feel in that upper chest, nice squeeze. And this one is gonna feel a little unstable, so you're really gonna have to contract the core to make sure you're stable. Widening your stance can help quite a bit, as well as putting your arm out to the side to help for balance, but really try to engage that core during the exercise, and that really helped quite a bit. And of course, you wanna get that 4-inch motion, push to the top position, get a nice squeeze inward before letting it down to the stretch position. And damn, after these 2 are done, you're definitely gonna be feeling it. Moving on to our next superset, and it's going to be pull downs with landmine press, kneeling landmine press. One of my personal favorite chest exercises of all time, especially for the clavicular portion, the upper portion. I feel it really targets it nicely. It can be a body part which very quickly falls behind, so we always like to include this one. And when you superset it, more than any exercise in the workout today, I am really feeling it at the end of this one. And you can see we have new haircuts. I'm switching topics a little bit for a second.
Let's get real.
Let's get real. We watched a lot of Westerns recently. That's why Brandon has a mustache. We thought we'd spare you wearing cowboy hats, being shirtless. We didn't want to go that far. We're shirtless and we're wearing assless chaps. That's why we're shooting from the waist up. So we got 2 isolation exercises back to back. The first one's gonna be the straight arm pull downs, which is really focusing on the lats, but it being shoulder extension. Not only work on the lats, working a little bit in the rear delts and also a little bit in the triceps too. A lot of people will feel a little bit of a burn and contraction in the triceps, and that's okay. It's normal. Triceps are gonna help out a little bit with shoulder extension, so it shouldn't be too much of a concern if you feel it in your triceps. But what you really wanna try to do is focus on pulling with your lats. Bottom position, pull your chest up, squeeze those shoulders back and the bar into your thighs. That'll really help engage those lats quite a bit. Now we're moving on to the incline dumbbell flies. Another isolation, working in horizontal adduction. It's really hitting that clavicular portion, as you can tell in this workout. Really trying to focus a lot of attention on that upper portion of the chest, because as Hudson said earlier, it can be kind of a lagging portion of the chest, it being a lot less muscle fibers. Maybe some people don't really pay a lot of attention to it. So it's nice to give it a little extra love to make sure it develops properly alongside the sternocostal portion of the pectoralis major, the lower portion, because there's a lot more fibers, easier to build, especially when you're doing a lot of flat bench pressing. So these two exercises paired back to back is definitely going to feel pretty good, especially being in isolation. You want to keep it a little bit lighter, so that way you can really get that form down, get the feeling, and of course, look buff. Yeah. What a way to end this workout. Hanging, twisting leg raises. Not only are you going to be hitting your core, you're also going to be testing that grip strength. So it's a great way to end this workout. It's going to be 3 sets, 15 reps. That wraps it up. Stage 3 is finished, this one being strength. We'll see you next time for stage 4. We're gonna be doing power. Ooh. So rest, recover, and we'll see you then. Yeah. Stay buff.